Can anyone hear me? Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry about this trouble. I was having a lot of problems with my streaming software. So let me try. I had my slideshow shared, but I guess not myself anyway. I don't know. And now I can't share my I can't share what I was sharing. So it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to show you my slides, but at any rate, I'm going to see if, but let me know if you do see it, because I do see my camera within my slides. I do see my face. Go figure. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and start just talking about my subject, apparently, without a visual. So I do apologize for my tech issues, but I guess it's not a stream without some sort of tech issue. Anyway, so I will try to move on. So I'm just going to try and move on, and so let's see. So the subject is the topic of my presentation is, will my line editor change my voice? And I'm going to have to go through this a little quickly so that I can get through it. So let's see. So yes, hi, I'm Heather, and I work under or edit under the name Heather Dewey Pettit. And essentially, I hung out my shingle as a freelance editor in the late 90s. And so over the last 25 plus years, I have done a wide variety of editing types, including line editing and many settings, like for newspapers, magazines, book publishers, and independent authors, which are my favorite kind of client, by the way. So yeah, I can talk about my services later in the presentation. So anyway, so yeah, so the question was, will my line editor change my voice? So, well, they shouldn't unless you want them to. So that's what I have. So, okay. So do you fear working with a line editor? Because many authors do, actually. So if this is you, excuse me, do you have any of these questions about line editors? Will they change too much of my work? And pardon me. And will what I get back, not from my editor, not represent the work I put into my book? I also have, will a line editor not work with me and work against what I want for my story? And will my line editor change my voice? And a lot of people ask me questions like, what will my line editor do? What is a line editor anyway? Or I've also heard, what will happen after I send my work to my line editor? And also, what should I expect? Period. I've had all of this. So again, will they change my voice? Again, no. A line editor should not make so many changes to your manuscript that it does not represent your story anymore, unless you set it up that way. If you and your editor decide that you both agree on making drastic changes to your manuscript, of course, that's another story. So otherwise, the professional line editor should keep in touch with you and keep their promises in regards to how much or little they will change. So queries to you, the author, should happen when the editor has questions during the edit. These questions can be about your stylistic use of punctuation, like, in other words, whether or not you use, say, the Oxford comma or choose not to. Or maybe a character's name changes, but this name can be spelled in a variety of ways, like, say, Lynn. Stuff like that. Let's see. So what are line editors and what do they do? So first of all, I have a list of the type of edits. First in the line of the book production process is developmental or structural editing, if a book needs it. Next is line editing. Following that is copy editing, and then proofreading, which is not a type of editing, but I just wanted to show all of the steps of the process of book editing and the publishing process. So what is line editing and what is it not? So what it is, the form of editing that focuses on paragraph structure and flow, sentence structure, meaning and logic, readability, and writing style. And so essentially it's mainly concerned with the flow of sentences and paragraphs. So what it is also makes sure that there is consistency in all mechanical matters, like grammar, syntax, and word usage, excuse me. So what it is not developmental editing. It is not copy editing, but especially a medium or light copy edit. It is not proofreading. Again, that's a completely other thing. So because developmental editing is considered the broadest stroke of the editing process, and line editing is the next. Excuse me. So copy editing, especially at the medium and light levels, are the smallest stroke. Heavy copy editing is defined, though, by some editors as part of the line editing process. It can be included, essentially. But proofreading is reading of the proof copy of a work for typos and other similar mistakes that were missed in all of that process, traditionally speaking. So where you can find line editors: professional organizations, number one, such as the Editorial Freelancers Association, which is a highly respected organization for freelance editors. It was founded 55 years ago in September. It's the same age as me of this year. So the EFA has an extensive membership list and job board. So it's a great place to find the right editor for you. So also ACES, also called the Society for Editing, used to be called the American Copy Editor Society, but they have it was started for copy editors of nonfiction, especially journalism, but they've since expanded their focus to include editors of all sorts and other professionals. There are international organizations as well, including the CIEP, the Chartered Institute of Editing and Proofreading, that is based in the UK, and then also I have another one. This is only a couple. Is called Editors Canada, and so these are worldwide. They have just members from around the world, essentially. I will get some resources. I can send some resources along as soon as it's been a crazy day. Anyway, Some other places to find line editors include online freelance job board platforms such as Fiverr and Upwork and Reedsy. But please be careful though, because there are many spammers and scam artists out there. And there's also many editors on these platforms, unfortunately, that will offer a small amount for their edits. Or maybe they'll have a very short turnaround time, like 24, 48 hours or something. But please consider how well they will do this edit. So you have to ask yourself, do I want it cheap and quick or thoroughness? So there's that. And then other ways to find editors include word of mouth and networking, of course. So, once someone has a good experience with an editor, word generally gets around. Of course, there are many online spaces for writers and editors, like Facebook groups and LinkedIn and Discord groups and YouTube. So, I do have a bit here about how to vet the editors that you find. So various questions you should ask before hiring them to edit your work include, when are you available? So expect to wait at least a month or two, very minimum, before they can begin working on your project, generally speaking. So types of editing that they perform, make sure you ask that. Ask them if they do the type of editing that you need, if you already know this. So what is your approximate turnaround time for you to do the edit for the amount of words of the project? And so approximately how long would it take for you to do the line edit for my work is what you need to ask. So find out if each editor you are reaching out to is a part-time or full-time editor, though, as this may affect how long it takes them to perform the edit. And then what are the genres of fiction that you read if you already haven't found that out, and other things that some people really want to have is a non-disclosure agreement and or a professional written out contract. But any communication between you and your editor, like emails and texts and DMs, are considered binding legal contracts. So one more way to vet an editor is editing samples, So these are typically taken from the middle of a work, as the first few chapters are generally cleaner. The first, the first, say, quarter of a work is generally a lot cleaner, has fewer errors. Most samples, when you're starting to do this, if you're going to do this, if you're searching for want to vet an editor in this way, most samples are 1,000 words. Many editor samples are free, and then if you work together, they will adjust that amount from the final fee. But some editors will only offer samples for a fee, but it's usually a smaller per word amount, by the way. But then they will again apply that to the final cost. Questions line editors should ask you: what is your deadline? How many words is your manuscript? What is the turnaround time you expect? So, your editor should know industry standard word lengths of the genres that they work in, of course, as well as usual lengths of works such as novels and novellas and things like that. So the time frame for you to expect your manuscript back should be agreed upon between you both before you proceed with the edit, before the editor proceeds with the edit. All questions can be asked during like a scheduled time to chat. Many professional editors offer a discovery call as part of their onboarding process to get all of that ironed out. And so options include text chats, by DMs, by different social media, video-based meeting software like Zoom or Jitsi or whatever like that, Discord, DM chats or voice or meeting spaces in a Discord server, even phone calls, some do it, or even good old emails, old-fashioned emails. It is a lot of research, I know, but it does make sure that you and your editor are a good fit for each other. Otherwise, there will be problems with communication or worse. And so, it's best to be on the same page. Oops, lost my place. Okay, wait a second. So yeah, also, so this is why you need to start researching, start reaching out to potential editors at the very least 2 months in advance of the start date that the editor will start. As many professionals are booked up, as many as probably, about 6 months in advance. Some I've seen some editors are booked as many as 12 months. So there's that. Let's see. Okay, let me see something. So I don't know why I'm cut off like that. If I'm cut off, I apologize. Top of my head. Let's see. Let's see. So, okay. So, I do believe we have maybe more time than I thought for a Q&A, but let's see here. I'm going to take a look at the chat finally. Sorry. Yes, yes, Devin, there's many types of edits. Editors that have certification, that is a great, if that's something that you want, it's a great way to go about it. There are, I know professional editors who do a wonderful job that aren't certified, or have a degree in English or journalism, or things like that. So there are a wide variety of editors with a variety of experiences, a variety of life experiences, a variety of professional experience. What would you recommend starting out with as a type of editor? Well, if you know what you need, if the alpha and, for lack of a better word, and beta reading process have told you, and you agree that you need a line editor, then you need a line editor, or at least you can have a line editor look at it and maybe get a editing sample done. That is, again, a great way of doing that. So if that was your question, okay. So let's see. And, there are also editors who specialize in fiction and nonfiction. There are editors who specialize in medical editing. There are editors who also, there's just a wide variety of experiences that editors can have. Would you suggest getting a sample done from each editor if they offer it? If there are, that just reminds me, there are some writers out there who will try and get a Franken edit, and unfortunately, they will send their manuscript to many editors and get, unfortunately, a free professional edit that way. I wish that wasn't a thing, but it is. But that said, if you can do it with more than one, if you've done your research and you say, oh, I see these 3 or 4 editors that I would like to work with all of them if I could, but I can only afford one. And, you know, that's a thing where authors will send to, say, 3 or 4, you know, line editors just to get a good idea of how you will work together. So, so there's that. This can be a thing. You know, a lot of, you know, it really depends, you know. Samples that you've been asked for was a maximum of 3 pages. So that's common. Yes, that is a wise thing to do. As I recall, that may have been a thing that I was very lucky to work with Devin on something. So I do believe he did that. Okay. Let's see. Are there any other questions that people have for me? Oh, thanks, Devin. I really appreciate that. Let's see. Yes, I did want to mention what I do. A lot of my specialties are, as I say, line editing. I don't really do much developmental editing, but my specialties are line editing and copy editing. I do some proofreading, and then I also do sensitivity / authenticity reading, and I've talked about that on my channel. Let's see. Let's see. Here's the attendee packet. If anybody needs that, needs to take another look, all of the things are in there. That's all right. That's all right. Let's see. Well, thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate that. Okay. Thank you. So yeah, I really try hard to be, for lack of a better word, gentle with my queries, and that would be what you would see from your editor, either in the inline comments via balloons or something like that. When they ask you specific questions about style choices or things of that nature. Did you mean to say this? In other words, that, you know, we're not going to be grammar Nazis. I've heard horror stories, but most of us are really trying hard not to do that. So, so yeah. Thank you very much for taking care of these sorts of things. Okay, really appreciate it. That's okay, Devin. My punctuation is much to be desired. You know, that's okay, because, you know, some of us who are writers, you know, we focus on oh yeah, those dang comments. Okay. You know, when you're focused on on telling a story, you're focused on telling a story and not necessarily the punctuation. Or if you're like me, you do that, and then, it takes you a long time to actually write a story. So, I'm working on it. Okay, anyway, yes, I was saying that essentially earlier, that I was, something you may have missed, Devin, is that definitely find out about the genres that your editor works in, because not everybody's going to, again, read, I don't know, romantasy. They're more, I like reading memoirs or whatever. But then when you go to those sites like, say, the EFA, that is the-efa.org, within the listing, there'll be genres they work in, things like style guides they're familiar with, like CMOS, the Chicago Manual of Style, or whatever it is that they usually work in, what they're most familiar with, all that kind of thing. Genres and what kind of documents they even prefer to work in. A lot of editors really love Word and the track changes feature. And so there's that. And yes, when you have a lot of made up words, yes. So, a line editor and copy editors would track these things and make sure that when you have invented words, that they, make sure that it's spelled the same way all through the manuscript. So, okay, here's the feedback form. I would love to find out how I did. I know I've had some technical problems. I'm so sorry about that. Let's see. I also suffer with capitalization. Yes. And then also the aspect of, say you're using L's as a race, and, then you would want to capitalize in terms of using it in that way. Generally speaking, I would recommend it anyway. Yes, I do as well. And this is something that is part of my process, is sending the original and the edited version. So clean copy is always great. Yes. Tech gremlins. Oh, that's probably why, like what I said earlier, because generally speaking, in a lot of fantasy, it's considered, for lack of a better word, a race. So that's why, because of that's current publishing standards as far as according to the Chicago Manual of Style. So capitalizing, say, a wide variety of races, of even races in real life, basically. Yeah. I mean, all of those software programs have their what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of, they can be a little tricky to use. Okay, how about that? And key point, always use an editor. Do not rely on the grammar programs. Exactly. Having a human pair of eyes is really the best way to go about it. That said, even professional editors will use things like, there is a program called Perfect It that was made for editors. And there's also things like macros, though. And macros, you don't really have that. Thank you, flaws. um, um, that's it. Yeah. So, but using macros, that there's not going to be any glitches with that that I've ever heard. So. Let's see, I think we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon. Let's see. I went through my presentation so quickly that we have lots of time for. Apologies if I went through that too fast. Yes, this is true. Let's see. And I definitely feel like I am forgetting something, but probably couldn't see my shrug. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, remind me, do I have to wrap up at 10 till? Yeah, I did mention that earlier, but so again, my specialties are line editing, copy editing. I do proofreading as well, and then there is sensitivity reading and authenticity reading. And then last year for the AWC, I talked about sensitivity reading, and that was really great. I enjoyed doing that one. I'm going to, that is a great idea, my Substack. What a great idea. As I was going to be writing something up over the weekend and to pop in there and have out on Monday. So great idea. Sounds like a plan. Is there anything else anybody would like to know about working with line editors or even editors as a whole? Excuse me, I'm just kind of trying to fix that a little bit. Thank you very much. And there's my Substack. I will also have some links available as well. As per my plan, I was also going to have some links in my Substack post. I will 10 till. Thank you. Okay, so I guess I rushed through my presentation. So I had a lot of time. So yes, thank you for sharing that. That's my Substack where I've talked about line editing before. So within the post I'm writing over the weekend, I will reference that and link up that Substack where I talked about line editing and things like formatting for things to send to your editor in terms of formatting and stuff like that. I will link up all the things that. Gotcha. Thank you for verifying that for me. Let's see here. More than one pass. Okay, that also depends on the editor. Yes, and all of these things need to be clarified ahead of time, yes, before the work begins, yes. As to how many passes your editor is going to perform for whatever for whatever job that they're doing. And some editors' line edits also essentially include a copy edit, but not everybody does that. Just to be clear on that. Some, and it's one pass. And I for my line edits, no, it has to be two. And then my copy edits are 2 passes. If I include a proofread with that, well, I don't usually do that. Actually, I don't actually recommend that. Ordinarily, you'd want a proofread. You'd want a proofread, not by the same person who does the copy edit, generally speaking, because you need more eyes than that. And people read over things, like a lot of authors do. They read over it. You read your things so often that your brain just skips over it. Howdy. Let's see. How are you doing, Jocelyn? Let's see. Yes, and a fresh set of eyes is very, very important. Sorry for the noise. So yeah, I will be wrapping it up. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up in, I'll just go ahead and wrap up at 10 till. You know what? This is a thing. It's a lot of writers do this. So it's no worries if that happens, because so many writers do that. And you know what? With my own writing, it just fills it right in. It just fills it right in. And so, that's what happens with that. So yes, less than 2 minutes left, and then I will say goodbye. Jocelyn, that's where my brain is right now. Yes. So if you have any questions for me at all, you can reach out to me. There is a community tab on my YouTube channel. And then also farther up, Ms. K did pop in my link tree. And there's also my Substack again, and it's up there. Can't find it, but there's lots of comments. Okay, so anyway, again, here is the feedback form, and thank you very much as well, Nice. I really appreciate the mods coming on and helping with all of that. I really appreciate it. And thanks to the AuthorTube Writing Conference for having me. And it's a great year again for the conference. So again, thank you so much, and thank you for watching. And feel free to check out my channel. And have a great day, everybody. And see you later. See you in the chats.